How are you out there? Enzo DiCostanzo, clinical professor of economics and finance in Peters University. This is net present value video number 5. Out there, 5, right in front of the camera, 5. The 5th one, maybe it's a little bit better. Down there, yeah, trying to figure that out as we do this. Never would have imagined we'd be on TV doing all these things. The profitability index, the payback rule, the topics in the book. Let's get to it so you guys have more video to look at the live class, and certainly for the online folks to get you guys ready. Okay, here's the sheet. The profitability index, it measures the net present value of a project per dollar of investment. And I've also computed the present value per initial investment also. And in class, in the live class, we have a lot of accounting majors in there, and we're always discussing and talking about, is this accounting profit, economic profit? All that stuff is measured differently. And, you have to be able to understand how sort of a scientist looks at a transaction or situation, and how an accountant looks at it, or a lawyer looks at something. That's all, the unique perspectives. So it's the benefit cost ratio, another way to look at it, and the benefit being the net present value, the cost being the investment type of a situation. So we have it figured out from before, and I actually have 2 of them here. This, yeah, this has the 350. Yeah, so this equals the initial investment divided by, no, pardon me. We're going to flip those. Okay, we're going to flip those. It's 64 over 14. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, 0.68, 0.068. So that does not, I'll tell you what it doesn't mean. It doesn't mean 6% profitability. It doesn't mean anything like that. About 6 times. It's just an index. And again, as we just said, it's either net present value, everything's divided by the investment type of a situation. And what you do is when you have several projects, you pair those along, and you can compare, this one to that one type of a scenario. And now we have that investment again, and looking at this, yeah, there's the investment. And how do we do that? We did it by 36. Yeah, that's the present value, 400,000. Right, that's a present value of 400,000 a year out, because that's what you're getting, and your investment is 350. Okay, so equals, make it a negative. So the present value now that we just computed, and then divided by the investment, which was 350. Okay, and that's like 1.061. Okay, there's a profitability. Again, the benefit cost ratio. You're always dividing by the investment. That's the consistent thing. One of them is present value. The other one is net present value. That's the only difference with these. And again, if you have 4 or 5 projects, which one is the highest? And you're seeing how to create your own indices, like the Federal Reserve does. And generally, if the project has a positive profitability, it makes it also must have a negative or positive NPV. So again, those criteria have identical decisions. And if you look at the previous column, we went through several different projects and judged them on NPV and the rates and the profitability and indices and all that. When there's a shortage of fund, the firm needs to pick those projects that have the highest. Yeah, so there may be a lot of opportunities, but you only have a certain amount of capital to invest in what you're working on. Okay, and you're gonna want to focus on the either. And like I said, that's, as you have experience and all these other kinds of things, you'll start to figure out what's the better way to do this or that, and like I said, and you'll figure that out as you go along, and that's that's just the burdens of experience as you deal with all these different things. So again, you're selecting cost of capital of 10%. And again, looking at these projects, let's hit the rewind button a little bit. We're up to objectives 3 and 4. The profitability index, and use to choose between different projects when the fund is limited. So calculate the profitability index, and then when you have a certain amount of capital, understand the payback rule, explain why it doesn't always make shareholders better off. Folks, like I said, you've got to become comfortable with a nominal analysis and a time value of money analysis. Those are the two things that are really going on here. Yeah, and rate of return. And we're looking for the index chapter. Yeah, here's profitability. Again, net present value. What that looks like in the textbook, the cost benefit ratio. And you have these 3 different projects. The first one has all negative cash flows. Oh, no, not all, pardon me. The first one, you come in with a certain investment, and then you get positive cash flows in C1 and C2. You determine net present value, and you determine profitability index. And the whole discussion is in here. Okay, so that's what we're working on. So for the first one, again, millions, you need 10 million to come in with. You have 30, then you have 5. Okay, so you have more votes. Again, present value computations, the value at 0 type of a thing. So, and again, I'll take as much time as I can in doing these. Oops. Yeah, I'll take as much time as I can in working these through. So this is going to be equal to 30 divided by parenthesis 1 plus the rate of return. The exponent is 1. Okay. So the value of 30 in a year at 10% is 27 million. And what you could do is, or what you should do, go into this, lock that, dollar signs in front of the column in the row. You're going to copy this, old HDF. It's 5 million in 2 years with 4.13 today. And we're going to say equal sum. We're going to sum these, right? So you have 31.4 million. Another way to do it is just to sort of recompute everything just in the same cell, which I like that. That's my favorite way, but that may not be the favorite way of folks out there. So it would be 30 divided by parentheses. And you can even type in the 10% if you wish, but we're referencing all the cells as we go along, which is probably the better way to do it. Actually, here, when you have something a little bit complicated like that, you typed out, you can just copy this, hit end, paste this in there, and just move everything. This becomes 32. This becomes 32. Yeah, this is AA 26. I think it's AA 26. Yeah, our AA. Oops. Yeah, you got to be careful. I thought I did 26. I didn't think we had a 260 in there. Oops, extra parenthesis somewhere. Purple. 1, 2, y 31, 32. And there's an extra. See, like I said, these things, it gets tricky with this, and you got to be very careful. The parenthesis. I think the first one's supposed to be touching. I think is what the problem was. 31. This is that, and this is these two. Fine. Delete. These two, fine, delete, there we go. There it is. I apologize for that, folks. But yeah, there it is. Okay. I'll just let that simmer there for a second so you guys can see it. Okay, and that gives you the same number. And then this other version, use the Excel present value, the rate, periods. They're not the same, so you're going to have to do a couple of these. All right, that's the period. There's no payment. And there's the future value minus PV again, rate, 2 periods, 0, and then the 5. Yeah. Okay, 31 million. And now if you just, just nominally sort of just add up everything that you have here, right? 25 million profit, 10 comes in, 35. Again, so many people, they look at it like that, think like that, that kind of a thing. This is, worth the accounting profit is worth 25 million. Oops. Okay, that's accounting profit, but the net present value profit is or the net present value is 31 million. Pardon me, the present value is 31 million, and then the net present value is that 31 plus what you came in with. So what this really means is, and we've been debating this in class often, net present value of 21 million means you came in with 10, you made nominally 35, so the present value of your positive cash flows is 31, and you are 21 million ahead of what you thought you were dollars-wise based on the return. You thought you were getting a return 10%. You've gotten a higher return, probably 20%. But in dollars, you're 21 million past that. That doesn't mean below that 21 million is negative or a loss. That it doesn't mean if NPV was 0, you'd have the exact return. So you're balancing a return, you're balancing some wealth numbers, you're balancing a couple different things with this. Okay, so just keep that in mind. This is equal to. Oh, by the way, with these formulas, you have to have something touching that equal sign to start off with, just to let you know. So the rate's 10%, and here this is just 30, this is just 5, and yeah, I've been working it like this. I don't know, I don't know if this would work if we put in, AB 30. Yeah, it wouldn't. See, yeah, because that negative 10 million is a year out, so it wouldn't work like that. Okay, so you got to add it in the 10 million, then it works. Okay, NPV, the Excel function, net present value, the rate, the first two cash flows at T1 and T2, and then you add the capital that came in, right? 10 million came into that particular one. Now we're going to hit these indices. So you're going to take equals NPV divided by the investment, which is 10 million, negative 10 million, right? 2.14, and then this is present value divided by negative 10 million, 3.1. So it's different by 1, if you notice that. Okay, so again, when you have a couple projects, you have 3 of them here, you can examine NPV. Now I'm looking, it doesn't look like I computed the IRR, and I probably should have, but I'm looking here for some space. Yeah, more mutually exclusive, that'll be another time. But we may sort of flow down to the bottom here and work that, because you have the payback rule. Yeah, that's it. You have the payback rule. We have self-test 8.6 that we're going to deal with. We have the modified, then we have the modified internal rate. We could go to those, a couple of these sort of modified ones, just to take up the time in this video. We could do that if we wish. But like I said, I think it'd be good to somewhere as an exercise to figure out your IRR with this, because that formula would be met minus 10 plus 30 over 1 plus r to the first power plus 5 divided by 1 plus r to the second power. That would be your formula that you'd be using. Okay, and we could set all those up somewhere. We could say NPV C, NPV C equals minus 10 plus 30, 1 plus R to the negative 1 plus 5, 1 plus R. So this is project C, control 1, subscript C, control 1, superscript negative 1, superscript negative 2. Yeah, right. So you can take this thing and test out a bunch of rates in there, and I may just, maybe at the bottom, I maybe will just cram it in, to be honest with you. So we did a little. You can see we have a little bit, we have a hair of room here. We might be able to just set something up. And you already know how to do this stuff, right? So you don't have to worry about that too much. There we go, something like this. And I don't have to do some big, long, complicated, version of it. We could just jam it in the space that we have, type of a thing. I just grabbed some formatting there. Yeah, and I think so let's not worry about borders. We want no borders. Okay, so we'll take this thing up to 10. This is this copy. We'll get to D in a second. There's D right there. And again, we'll get to we'll just change those as we go along. Just going to copy this. I'm just going to put it down here, but I'm going to get rid of that because it's not helping us there. So equals, anchor that, plus 30, anchor that, divided by parenthesis 1 plus the R exponent to the first, anchor that. And this thing, I think, goes well in a parenthesis. We're not done. And this would be 32, right? And this would be 32, right? And just take this whole story, Control D, Control 1, $, none. Okay, so this may not be working. 10, 20, 30, 50, 100, 200, 250. Yeah, so I could see why we didn't do this. 225, 10 area. There it is. Sort of found it a bit. Increase. It's somewhere in here. Between these two. When you have such a high IRR, I mean, what do you do? What do how do you really mess with this? And this is for C, is this one. Subscript C, which is in there. Okay. So yeah, we could pick, like I said, without going crazy, we could pick this one just for that first change, and we'll worry about other stuff at another time. Okay. But yeah, okay, so the IRR is 2.6, and somewhere in here we can maybe jam it in here, right? Black font equals 216, bold, box, yellow, and this is internal rate of return. Is that, like I said, not a happy number? And I don't recall if the book has any of those. Yeah, they just did NPV and profitability index. I think we didn't go into the tech, but like I said, the more you sort of teach this stuff, the more it all sort of changes on you as you go along. So, okay, that was what that looked like. D is, that's it, there's three of them. So you can see when you have the volume of these things, you know, it can get to you when there's a volume of these things. Minus 5 million, 5, 20, is all that. Alt HH there equals this divided by 1 plus the rate, and it's a year. And you can anchor this. Like now we're just sort of repeating ourselves a bit. Alt HDF. Okay. And what you can do, this is all this stuff is real repetitive. You can just copy, right, and just drop it. Look at that, right? I think it did. Definitely check to make sure. Yeah, nice, right, nice. Without doing all that math again. Okay, you can increase this, make it a 07. That's NPV. There's profitability, right? You look at the present value over the investment. Okay. This is no longer 30. This is going to be minus 5 million. This is 5, and the other piece of this is 20. There they go. That's D. And like I said, with D, you can bring this down also, and just sort of drop it off in here, right? And you can do this all over. I think you need it all over again. You could do it. Whatever, 0%. This is D, right? And net present value of project D. And this is, it's just dragging everything down. 30. All these guys. 2, 1. Yeah. Clear the fill, clear the borders, because you don't know where this stuff is going to fall or not. Okay. So I think we have everything. Yeah, we have all those. Copy, Alt, HDF. Okay. 10%, 20%, 30, 50. Yes, I think the reason why we didn't work on this was get some of these higher IRRs and how much, you know, how can you wrap your mind around it a bit? It was a little bit difficult to wrap your mind around. And again, how useful is this stuff going to really be and all that? So it's bold. Yeah. So you have that. So this is copy. This is the IRR. And this is there. So, yeah, and actually what may happen is this may mess with your, because see, if you look at this, you have a profitability index, net price of 3.2, this is 2.1, but this has a higher IRR, this is our internal rate of return. So it clouds the waters a bit. So like I said, so you're looking at NPV, right? NPV is 16, NPV here is 21, but this has a higher profitability index. So, you know, you got to value, you know, which one of these tests is really helping you type thing. It says all three projects are attractive with the firm's limited spending, you know, that kind of those kinds of issues. So, give ourselves a little bit of room here. Yeah, we were a little congested for some reason, and I apologize for that. But yeah, I don't know why I don't know why I cram it in so much when I'm doing these things. But you should, you know, spread it out just a bit. Project E is here, minus 5, 5, 15. Yeah, so you're here with this. So you're still looking at a 10% rate of return, 10% discount rate. This is minus 5. Oh, here, minus 5. And this is 5. This is 15. And like I said, you can just, you did a lot of this work here. So copy. You're just dropping it off in there. This guy, these guys copy. Paste in there, and all this, copy, paste, there you go. Underline, okay, 11, yeah, Okay, so now looking here, this profit is 2.3, this is 3.2, 2.1. So this is the winner, it appears, right? From a profitability index, it looks like it's this one. This is so D is the maximum one, and then it says retract from spending 10 million. So here you have 5. So you take D and E, yeah. So the choice here is D and E, right? And we're seeing where these things came from. D and E was 48 and 61. Yeah, the 2 MPVs were added, equals. Yeah, 28 million. And this was just simply C by itself. It was 21. Yeah, so between they had 28 million shareholder wealth, your return would have added only 21. So if you took C by itself, your MPV, what that would have done for you, because that's 10 million. And then, but you combine them, these other two, it's a little bit higher. Okay, that's the story. And like I said, with these rates, there really didn't seem to be. I mean, we could figure out whatever E is or something like that if we wanted to. Actually, we're here. Yeah, I need space, more space. Copy this stuff, drop it in there. This is E. Here's what that is. And like I said, clear out all the bolds. You don't need a bold. You don't need a fill. You don't need any borders for the time being. Right? You still want to start these at 0 type of a thing. So for E, since it's just sort of staring me in the face over there, E gives us what? Yeah, E is all here. So like I said, even though some of the numbers might be conveniently the same, but you want to move it so you have everything where you need it. Okay, so you have that. Bang. Is in there. And like I said, so somewhere in here, you're going to figure out where these things are going from negative to positive. See, they're big numbers, folks. They're big numbers. There it is. So somewhere, this one you could just do the 130. Because it's like I said, these are relatively easy to find, straightforward to find type things. So yeah, cover that. But yeah, that's your 130 IRR on that. So for E, copy, paste, and this is okay. So you're looking at about 130 or so there. And again, you got to go. It's the usefulness of all of these, just getting the rates of returns here. I'm not sure how the usefulness of all of it. There was D, and let's throw in the equation for E here. E minus 5, and this was 15 only. That's the only difference. This is 15. Yeah. Okay, so you have the equations. So you got a lot of stuff. Okay, you got a lot of stuff here. Okay, that's profitability index. So obviously, if looking at this, the one that has, D is the highest one, 3.2, and then E, and then C. But again, you're limited by your capital, how much capital you have to spend. So it's either you do C or you do D and E, and obviously D and E is a better version because that has a $28 million NPV hit. And once again, you got to realize, the 20 million means that sort of dollars wise, that's how far away you are from your assumed cost of capital or your assumed discount rate. So your discount rate should be higher, to get it to 0, and obviously much higher by what we just computed here. For D and E, they're in the 150s and the 130s. Those are big returns. Those are very big returns. Next time, again, let me just save this as we go, and you should too. Next is payback rule is next. on here, let's look at the formulas in here. Just right. So these correspond to this up here. The cash flows, the years, and the rate varies. So I'll just let you guys look at those numbers for a second. Okay. I've learned to sort of slow it down as best I can. You figure out how to use all this technology as you go along. Right. This was for D, which was here, all those cash flows. And this was for E, which are those cash flows. You can pause it if you need and write those down or take a picture or something of it. It's as you need to. Okay. Yeah, the payback rule. Payback rule is, hey, you put a roof on your house, you save $10,000 worth of heating bills, and the roof costs $10,000. That's payback rule in a year, right? But obviously, that's not how realistic that is. But let's say in whatever 20 years you save 10,000 and it costs 10,000, so the payback time frame was 20 years type of thing. So projects with positive net value, net present value are worth more than the cost. Whenever a firm invests in such a project, it's making its shareholders better off. The days almost every large corporation calculates NPV of proposed investments. So building a factory, marketing plans, expanding sales forces, those kinds of things. Management also consider the criteria making investment decisions, which is probably determined from profitability index lead to the same decisions as net present value. However, payback is no better than a very rough guide. They're all very rough guides. Okay, so I don't think that's too. Any of those are really too different. So yeah, we have a couple projects here that we're searching, that we're looking at, but F and G, actually F, G, and H, which is those. So you're looking in the books of, yeah, we worked on these. This is for profitability index, capital rationing. We looked at that, hard and soft rationing. Then we have the payback rule, which is the next section. And like I said, just time-wise, we have time sort of on your attention span here. So let's sort of hit this. And again, here's 3 projects, and we're going to look at the payback rule. Again, we're going to go through all the steps like we did for the profitability index. Okay, washing machine costs $800. We're spending $6 a week or $300 a year on the laundromat. So yeah, so less than 3 years, 3 and 3, 600, then 200. So 2 2/3 a year to whatever 2/3 is. So 8 months, 2 years, 8 months. That should pay back. Is the length of time for you to recover your initial investment. Payback period was just under 3 years. States that the project should be accepted. Yeah. So that's just your internal. What's a good? Hey, you live in a house. How long does it really take to pay off the rent that you would have paid if you lived someplace? You got to make those computations yourself. There's no rule that says a year, 2 years, 5 years. It's whatever the situation calls for, type of thing. All right. So now we have these projects. We did C, D, and E. The next ones are F, G, H. Those are all 10% projects. So what I could do, just to make this go a little bit quicker, I can just sort of slide in there and just drop in all the 10% and clear up the, clear up the fill and all those other kinds of things. Okay. So yeah, that was sort of a project we could put our hands around. This other one is going to be, these are just numerical. Right, 1,000, 10,000, 2,000 comes in. Okay, so you show up with 2,000 capital, you'll get 12,000 cash flows. And again, just sort of taking the accounting version here. This is 119, right, which is in there. U, which is that. Okay. So we have those. All right. And then, like I said, just because it's I think just as much work copying and pasting something. So we're just going to pick it like this. Okay. And what you could do, because you have a couple of these, you're going to copy and paste. Copy, alt HDF. Okay, so that 10,000 sort of buyout at the end or whatever it may be is worth about $7,500 today, type of a situation. Okay, so you're going to equal sum. And this is just the present value computation. Yeah, what looks like 12,000 is time value of money is really 9,000. And like I said, again, equal parenthesis. You can do all these things. Yeah. And then you just change. Oops. You just change that. I hit the help button by accident. You just change the indices. Oh, this is going to be 21. This is going to be 22. Okay, they're the same numbers. But this is just this. I did all the present values just in one set. That's my favorite one because it's all in one place. I like that one the best. And this other one, I'm just doing it just to give you guys experience with it. The rate's 10%, period, no payment, and then you have 1,000. And actually, with this one, you can do, because there's two of them, and they're all the same. You could do it like this. This is 2 years payments 0 minus PV parenthesis rate a third year 0 10 all that. Okay, so it gives us 9,248. This is not millions or anything like that. Okay. This is equal just the present value plus the investment. Brings it down a bit to 7. And this equals MPV rate, all the cash flows. And then you add the one at 0. Okay. You have all that. And once again, this other one equals present value divided by the investment, make that a negative, so all the numbers are positive. And this is net present value divided by negative 2,000. Okay, so yeah, at least you have the profitability, but the payback, the payback is you're gonna, have cash flows of, just nominally looking at it, cash flows of 2,000, 1,000 here, 1,000 here. You've already recovered, even though it took 2 years, you've nominally recovered your money, even though the $2,000 here buys a little bit less than what it bought a couple of years ago. Okay, save as you go. Okay, and I kept the spacing so I can copy and paste a lot of this stuff as we go along here. So yeah, in the books, yeah, there's the 2,000s without the big payoff at the end. Here, this payback's at the end of the second year. This payback's also at the end of the second year nominally. So the payback period is the same for all of them. And we're computing NPVs, as we go, type of a move there. So I'm taking these guys here, copy, paste. Okay. And this is 130. Okay, here we have all those. And yeah, I think I did the math on this one. Anyway, even though it was 0, yeah, I still did it. Still did the math on that. Because what I can do now is I can just show up here like this and just copy and just drop the whole story right in there. Yep. Yeah, it's a negative MPV on these. Yeah, these right negative, because you're coming with 2,000 and then time rolls on and you're just getting your 2,000 back nominally, but it's not 2,500, it's not 3,000. So I can see why this is negative. But yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, and also with these, how much sense these indices make, after looking at this, how much sense does this stuff make after a while? So like I said, these are a little bit nonsense results here. So you got to be careful. Some of the rules, they kind of blow up a little bit. It's all machinery is what it is. So you have to really figure out why you're doing what you're doing, type of thing. I'm just cheating a bit. Your cash flows are there. It's still 3 years. So we'll pick all these off. They're in there, and this is 145. but you're all there. Okay, this is you. And again, just a big swooping move to get all those numbers in there. But yeah, and you saw how this all happened, right, with these indices. Right, this is the NPV over the investment, but if it's negative, yeah, how much those things really help you versus the other present value over the investment, which might be a little more realistic, but still, you're still looking at a 2-year, payback. So sometimes management calculates its payback period for the present value of the present cash flows equals or exceeds the initial investment. How long the last number for the being deposit net present value meets the company cut off sort of the policy of the company, project accepted if not to rejected. So. And this will never accept a negative NPV project, so you have that. Okay, so yeah, we did profitability index, we did payback period, we looked at those are short. This one is, yeah, this is a self-test, and we're going to go through that. And then in the same column, you have the modified rate of return, which is really an appendix topic, so we may not really hit that. Okay. Yeah, that's an appendix topic. We'll get back to this sort of after we've had a little bit more practice. Just these are tough ones. So before running to this in videos and things of that nature, let's take a little bit of time with this and sort of figure out what we're doing. But it's in the appendix, and I'm not so big on appendix coverage in these courses. The normal course content is generally enough. 8.6. What does 8.6 have in store for us? Yeah, 20 years of cash flows, 660. What's the payback period? The discount rate. What's the projected NPV? Should it be accepted? All that. Okay, so that's a big project that you're coming in and you're spending, $5,000 in capital to do this. 660 all the way across the board. Whoops. Control D. Those are your 660s, which are right there. So you have 20 of them. So this is, and I remember, obviously this has already worked out for you guys, but I recall, I recall typing these all out. So it was a little bit of work. So we're definitely doing this problem. It's a little bit of work. Okay. And obviously it's saying accepts, obviously, so we're on the way to that. So let's verify that as we go along here. What the value at 0 type of a thing. So this is going to be equal to this divided by parenthesis 1 plus the 6%. We're locking it. Exponent is 1. Okay, and then copy Alt HVF. That's the formula 587. And this is just all the way down with the white spacing and all that stuff. Yeah, 205, 218. Okay, those are all the present values, is what that stuff is. Okay. So the middle one here equals sum of all the present values. All right, that's 7,570. Okay. I'm looking at what I did here. Yeah, whoa. I went through I did all 20 of them, it looks like, in that one. And this one, I think I used, again, I went bananas doing each piece for some crazy reason. Because I'm looking at what you have here. This is perfect for the annuity, is what this is. It's a perfect annuity computation. Who knows what I was thinking when I did them all by hand. Just feeling daring, I suppose. I guess I forgot. I guess I forgot this formula, I suppose. And this is 20. Yeah. So again, I have no idea. I just worked on these. So what possessed me to do those all individually, I do not know. But I did them. Now with the PV, see these are all summed. All the line items are basically summed. With the PV, you got to make it negative, and you got to go through everything. 6%, and the periods are going to change. And oh wait, this could have been the same thing, right? Because this is not just one period any longer. right? This is 20 of them. And there's payments. 660 is a payment, and it ends at 0. So once again, yeah. So again, I guess I had a blank out where I did it all. Look at how this is my version. Look at the psychotic way I did it. I just did them all somehow. So sometimes I feel like doing those kinds of things sometimes. So I did it. So okay. Yeah, this other column here, I got to remind myself what this was for. We started summing these things on the way, so to speak. We summed until, and again, what are we looking for? Discount, projected NPV. Oh yeah, we were looking at when we got to 5,000. So we got to 5,000, but at the end of the 11th year, we're at over 5,000. That's really what we were doing here. So, yeah. Okay. So this equals sum parenthesis. Okay. And then you can just click here, anchor that. Right, Control D, Control 1. And this was accounting. I'll cover that. Control D. So yeah, when are we getting to 5,000? Well, at least the 9th year, and then a little bit more too. Right? Because if you look here, copy, and this is just pasting the formulas in there. It's somewhere between the at the end of 10, somewhere in the 11th year. This is in the 11th year, somewhere in there. You hit 5,000 somewhere, and you can go a little bit. Like I said, I think in here I started doing some very specific stuff. What was I doing here? Subtracting different. I was just doing some experimenting here on the side. We're not going to really necessarily hit this, but yeah. So what did I do, guys? Each month it appreciated about 347. No, 347 for the year. It appreciated, right? It's 20 per month, kind of a thing. And we're just trying to figure out, how far along the way did it get before? So about 5. It looks like it was about 5 months in, or so. Yeah, because right. How are you looking at this? Yeah, for some reason I did that. That this 142 isn't helping us. This is helping us. Okay, so if you go to the 11th year, alt HHN equals this minus this. All right, so you're looking at 347 is what you're looking for, and then you do a monthly change. How does that change per month? Is next, so this equals this divided by 12. All right, so if you're $347, it's about $29 a month, and how far are we trying to get from the other piece of that? Yeah, so yeah, actually, this may have a use. Okay, yeah, it says it does have a use. Equals 5,000 minus, yeah. So how far are you? Yeah, so you're 142.3 away from 5,000 is what you are. Right there. Yeah, you're 142.3 away from 5,000. The formatting a little bit different. That's fine. So each month you tick off, for the whole year you tick off 28, but it goes over, right? It goes into 5,200. So yeah, we did a ratio. I don't know why we did that ratio. Yeah, 5 months. That's why I did the ratio. Because the whole change is this that you need, and this is the 28. Yeah, so it's about 5 months in. Yeah, about 5 months into it. That's when you hit your number, right? Because if you look, you need 142, and for the 28s to do it, you need 4.9 months, and 9/10 of the next month. So you say, fine, you know, we could go bananas with this. We could really go bananas. I forget what this last thing is. This last thing is, I just did a ratio of what 5 divided by 12 is. Type, I don't know why I did that, but okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's about 41% of the year. Yeah, that's the ratio of 5 months of the year. That's what that is. Like I said, we're really splitting hairs with this. You know, how many months into the 11th year are we type of a question. So, like I said, I want to go bananas with this thing, but yeah, you could say somewhere in the 11th year, but 5 months in, we could say with this. Okay, so you take your present value, you add your initial capital, right? 2,570. This other piece, this is equal to NP or NPV. The rate was 6%, and then you had all of these. I'm sure there's a better way to repeat this than what I'm doing. Okay. And you're going to add your initial capital. Yeah, you get those same numbers. And like I said, now you can start looking at profitability indices and things of that nature. Yeah, so this is equal to present value divided by the negative of the investment. Okay, which is 1.51. You can increase this a bit. And this one is just going to be equal to negative present value divided by the investment. Okay. I'm sorry. This is net. This one's net present value. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, now with the payback period, we work this out as how many years that would take equals negative this divided by 660. Right. About 8 years or so. If you just did it nominally, it's about 8 years. But the discounted version, here's the discounted version. So that's why we did all these. Yeah, but let's make sure we understand, where all these numbers are coming from, why we did what we did here. This 142, this is, you're at the end of the 10th year, you're at 4,857. You want to get to 5,000 for your payback. So how far away are you? You're $142 away. That's what this means. This next thing, you actually subtracted the end of the 11th and the end of the 10th year. What those were, that's 347, which is bigger than this. In that year, in 1 year, 347 is broken up over 12 months. So that's every month that it appreciates $29. Okay. And this other thing, you need 142. How many 28s are going to be 142? About 4.9 months. And that's about 5 months, which is the 0.416, which is what this is. Okay. It's 11.416. Roughly. Discounted version, 11.4 years. Nominal one is about 7.5. So, like I said, you've got to determine all that for what you're working on. Folks, like I said, in this particular column, we have the modified rate of return, which is an appendix topic. Okay, we have that. We have what's common. We have mutual exclusive projects, investment timing decisions, and the long and short-lived equipment, and you have the different machines, equivalent annual annuity. We have some of this other stuff. So, like I said, this is, I think, good for another video. Problem number 3, want to replace an old machine. There's a self-test here with a couple things. But yeah, like I said, so we have that column, and I think that's it. So yeah, so this started a little bit longer especially the live class, but we're going to finish this up relatively quickly. And like I said, we have 2 appendix problems that we're going to work on a bit. Okay, so like I said, so please spend a little bit of time on the profitability index column, the payback period column, and watch the video, and go over all this stuff. And like I said, I'm just there's a light bulb one here that I remember working on. This one's a very good one. We're going to give ourselves some space here, but yeah, those are some good engineering problems. Okay, folks, you probably had a good hour today on this. Like I said, mutually exclusive projects will be the next one. So what was this? This was the 5th one, I think. So we'll have a 6th one, and then for the online class, we'll hit the accounting cycle, completing the accounting cycle chapter in the accounting book. Okay, so like I said, read the net present value chapter, chapter 8. And watch the videos, go through the exercises for the online folks, and for the live class folks, use these videos to reinforce because you got the live class. Okay, so folks, keep working hard. We're going to unshare the screen next. So let's go through the steps here. Stop sharing. There we go, folks. It's always fantastic, visiting with you, even by video. Email me, the online guys. Email me as much as possible. Work hard. Please don't be concerned about what are the assignments due. I want you to, your assignment now is to read chapter 8 and watch the videos and work all the Excel. That's what the online folks should be doing. I have not heard back from everybody in the online section. So if you're watching this and you didn't email back saying, hey, I'm getting all the emails, I'd like you to do that because now the course started. Some of you are getting emails in January. I started emailing the textbook and different things in January because I'm trying to help you guys and give you a head start as much as possible. Please answer me, have everyone contact me, that you guys know that you're that I know that you're receiving the emails. Okay, please work hard, and I'll talk to you soon.